Hey guys, this is Rich, and I'm here with Brian.
What's up, everyone?
Capcom's released the first trailer for Resident Evil 6. Wanted to give you guys a closer look. One of the first things you're going to see right off the bat, actually, is returning hero, Leon Kennedy. Back from Resident Evil 4 after taking Resident Evil 5 off. Needed vacation, I guess.
Now, Leon is one of 3 main playable characters in this game.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see the other guys in a few minutes, but, right here, Leon was the bodyguard of the president, and in Resident Evil 4 we obviously saw him trying to protect his daughter. President's looked a little better, right, Brian?
Yeah, he's a President Evil now. He's infected.
Yeah. So obviously you see Leon here having to make a choice. He's about to shoot his boss, and it appears that he did. Resident Evil 6 definitely comes across with a darker tone than we've seen maybe in the last Resident Evil or maybe in the last couple.
So Leon's sections here are very old school, Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3,
Yep.
kind of confined environments.
Yeah.
Now, who's this?
New partner, Leon Kennedy. All the guys, all the main characters in the game basically have someone who's assisting them throughout. We don't know much about her, but we know she's with Leon throughout his adventure, throughout his story.
Here are some very Resident Evil 2 and 3 street areas. We saw that sign back there said Tall Oak Station. What's that all about, Rich?
Basically the new Raccoon City, which, as you might guess, has been invaded by zombies.
So this is Ingrid Hunnigan, who is actually corresponding with you over a communicator through Resident Evil 4, so she's back.
Yeah.
So you can see everything's infected. Real zombies this time around. None of that nonsense from 5.
Yeah, the T-virus is back. We're not talking Las Plagas necessarily, though, because as you'll see, we've got some other messed up creatures in this game.
Like these boomer-looking guys.
We got this big feller here getting ready to eat Leon, so not so good. Looking like, more interactive environments, big trains coming at the zombies, taking them out. Here we go.
Where are we now? We're in China.
I suspect we're in China, just gauging by some of the environments here. Chris Redfield. So this is actually the first Resident Evil game to have playable Chris Redfield and playable Leon Kennedy.
Awesome.
That's actually a really big deal for the franchise.
If you remember from Resident Evil 5, Chris's sections Chris's game basically was a lot more action-oriented, a lot more pulled out. Here he is in China. There's paparazzi. There's people running crazy. They obviously don't really know what's going on yet.
Yeah. This right up here is actually pretty important. First off, not so much a zombie, but this is actually looking a lot more like typical Las Plagas stuff where, guys are just having crazy things erupt from their bodies.
We saw Krauser's arm burst open like that in Resident Evil 4.
This is important. What do we got here?
So these look like some gang members that are either defending the city or working against everyone to work with the virus.
Yeah, it's not too often you actually see guys, in Resident Evil fighting other humans that don't turn into giant beasties. So, this guy's pretty crazy. Again, another example of just, people turning into rather bizarre creations.
19 eyeballs.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, who's Eminem over here?
All right, so we mentioned there are 3 playable characters, three main leads. We talked about Chris. We talked about Leon. This is your third. This guy is a mercenary. My sources are telling me that this guy is related to an existing Resident Evil character.
Who is he?
Unfortunately, I don't know. That I don't know. It's some sort of relation. Hard to say who. So, moving along, though, this guy is a little more fast-paced, like up-close action style. Though one of the things is, we'll talk about the girl in 1 second. Got this big beastie here.
Yeah.
He's got some tech stuff going on. He's kind of like the tyrant of the game, and this mercenary segment seems a lot more like chase oriented. You're constantly trying to race this guy here. Let's fast forward just a few frames here. We have a new blonde lead who actually is going to be with the mercenary the entire time.
Who I thought was Ashley from Resident Evil 4.
Right,
but
who Leon's trying to protect.
Yes, the president's daughter. But you're saying it might be...
My understanding is this is actually Sherry Birkin, who is William Birkin's daughter. You may remember William being the big enemy from Resident Evil 2. So that, is a pretty big deal. She has a lot closer ties to the series.
This guy's chasing you again. As you can see, he's got some sort of giant cybernetic arm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or maybe not. But it's definitely not zombie. It's mechanical in some form.
Yeah, and the bulk of this seems to be these guys just desperately trying to escape this guy.
Oh, look, it's a giant, disgusting crane claw attached to a hideous beast man.
Exactly. And
he's got a Silence of the Lambs type of mask on. So you don't get this just from getting shot up with the virus.
Much. And this is somewhat unusual for the Resident Evil series. Usually you're talking about just strictly bioorganic weapons, and now you got guys guys that have modifications.
So like Leon on 4, here we see a protagonist who has to shoot himself up because he's also infected.
Yep, absolutely. And here we go.
Whoa.
Here's another pretty brutal scene here. We're calling this it's like a viral bomb of some sort.
Yeah, the bio ball.
Bio ball.
So this thing gets shot into the room, and it looks like within a second everyone gets infected.
Yeah, and then they sort of explode, which kind of sucks for them. So kind of grim fates awaiting some of the BSAA agents. Got another guy here talking about pairings. We've talked about the other characters. Chris is paired with this guy who seems to be some sort of subordinate soldier or BSAA agent of his. So they're going to be sort of adventuring together through trying to kill evil things, apparently.
Now, as you can see here, these are very Resident Evil 4. Now, we'll talk about that arm in a second, but this environment is sort of the Eastern European rundown village setting we saw, now with military barracks and some snow.
Yeah. Now, you just brought up the arms. One of the interesting things is we brought up that Chris is fighting a lot of humans, but it looks like actually some of these humans are just going to get completely mutated. You can actually see, you can kind of make it out. The dude's still wearing a mask.
Yeah.
So it's like the gangs that you are fighting actually become infected over time, whether of their own accord or not.
And then we got the mask guy right there. If you go back a few frames, you'll see the zombie cop. Very old school Resident Evil.
Yep.
But yeah, so my theory is that some of these masked guys are working with the virus. Now, right here, we have something very new for the series. This is a sort of context-sensitive weapon. It's a fire axe. It's not a gun that runs out of ammo or anything like that. I don't think Leon can carry around 15 of these. Seems like he might just find one, hit a guy in the head.
This part's awesome. This was like one of my favorite parts of it. So axe to the head is awesome. You know what's cooler than axe to the head? Sliding under a zombie and then spinning around. Let's do a slow-mo.
Headshot.
Bam.
Oh, that's lovely.
It's awesome. So it looks like there's a lot more context-sensitive actions, which is pretty cool. Now we're getting into a bunch of quick shots here, so we're going to try and keep up as best as we can. This part's pretty cool. This guy looks pretty normal. Average
good,
Joe.
Good day, reaching for a hand. Dead. Oh my God.
I'm theorizing that there's some sort of virus nuke that goes off and just basically lays waste. You can see everything's on fire, and that dude has obviously seen better days. So some blood on the hand, that's always scary. And a lot of other quick action shots, just trying to give you a sense that the game is just bigger scope.
Now here we have, you saw real quick the sort of sewer environments that we saw underneath the cathedrals and stuff towards the latter half of Resident Evil 4.
We see our tyrant type friend right
still
there.
Still chasing you.
She's still chasing.
Definitely a theme through the game.
There's this ugly dude.
Yeah, this is sort of a licker, right?
I guess so.
His face is split in 3 parts. You've got this sort of old school Resident Evil 4 cathedral going on back there. So again, Leon's sections are going to be very traditional.
Oh, you know what? We missed my big friend. Hold on.
Yeah, this is very
the dog
important.
from Up.
Yep, there he is.
He's
Resident Evil dogs
Leon.
are back. They look more disgusting than ever. So easy to miss that.
Yeah. And then we've got a big guy.
So this looks like from Resident Evil 4, and we saw them again in 5. They're the El Gigantes mixed with possibly a Cloverfield monster. So we're calling them El Clavantes.
Exactly.
Here's a great look at him. He's got this big fang tooth. Yeah, good luck fighting him.
Yeah, not so good. This is another great part of the trailer. Jurassic Park 2 callback. No Jeff Goldblum to save you, but hopefully there's zombie T-Rexes out there, because that would be awesome. So yeah, that's about it. Resident Evil 6 is coming out on Xbox 360, PlayStation 3 on November 20th, with PC to follow at some point in the future. And keep it here on IGN.com for more details as we get them.